Welcome back to Gero Dynamics. Okay, enough politics, enough wrestling, enough Magic the Gathering. Let's do some movie reviews today before I get into playing some World of Warcraft. All right, so we're going to start with the movie, was it Crime 101, 101 Crime? Let's see, what's it called here? It's called Crime 101 with Chris Hemsworth. All right. So, but before I do that, I'm not going to do all 10 of these, but apparently Regal is telling me I have seen 10 movies already this year, which seems a little low, actually. But that's what I do. I love watching movies. I have the Regal Unlimited app, so I just can go and watch movies whenever I have time to do it. Typically, that's what I would be doing, like right now, if I had the day off, or I would be, trying to squeeze in movies here or there. I just want to do these videos and play some World of Warcraft, so I'm not going to be seeing any movies for a little bit, but I'll be going back. Anyways, the last movie I saw, Crime 101, let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so this movie has a lot of. It's a lot like an older movie that I think they remade. And this isn't a remake of it, but the Thomas Crown Affair with Steve McQueen. This movie is a lot like that, kind of, and they even reference it in the movie. So they reference that the character, Chris Hemsworth character, is a fan of Steve McQueen, and kind of beat around the bush that it's kind of the Thomas Crown Affair is kind of what led him down this path, because he was kind of homeless and poor, grew up in foster care, and ended up becoming this high end thief, right? And that's kind of what the movie's about, kind of the Thomas Crown Affair. Anyways, so who else is in this movie? Well, first, it is directed by Bart Layton. The writers are Bart Layton and Don Winslow. The stars. So this is who it lists as the top three. I'll tell you who I think are, but it says Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan. Keoghan. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce his name. Keoghan. Keoghan. Anyways, the Irish guy, short Irish guy who is phenomenal. I really like him and stuff. He's great. All right. Anyways, and then the person it's not listing there is Halle Berry, who I actually consider the second lead of the movie, although you could make an argument for it being Mark Ruffalo. So Chris Hemsworth is the thief in question. He's the main character. His character's name is Davis. Another big character that's not listed is Nick Nolte. His character's name is Money. He is kind of like not really the mentor of Chris Hemsworth's character. He's more the guy that gets him jobs, or the guy that has takes the stuff that he steals and sells it and pays him, basically. Chris Hemsworth is kind of the guy who does the jobs, plans the jobs, that sort of thing. But as far as, like, handling the back end and getting the product, if he steals diamonds, Nick Nolte's character will sell the diamonds, and that's how they get the money, obviously. Anyways, um, Mark Ruffalo plays Lou. He's the police officer who's kind of has figured out, even though no one believes him or listens to him, he's figured out that this Davis character is um, committing all these crimes, that it's the same guy, because the police department doesn't think it's the same guy. They think it's just all different, um, criminal actions that just happen to kind of have a similar nature. But Mark Ruffalo's character is sure it's the same guy. Um, let's see who else. Jennifer Jason Lee is in it for a short bit. She is Mark Ruffalo's wife, I do believe. Corey Hawkins is also one of the main characters. He's Mark Ruffalo's partner. He plays Tillman. Did I say Jennifer Jason Lee's character's name is Angie? Halle Berry's character's name is Sharon. She is it's kind of like a side story in the movie, but it connects in. She is she works at a high end insurance brokerage, and helps them get clients, and but she's getting a little bit older, and so and I guess in that world, if you're a woman in that world, then your biggest attribute is your physical nature, your beauty. And so she's getting older, so they're going to bring in some younger woman who's going to end up taking that role of being the sexy insurance broker who can talk these rich guys into getting policies with them or whatever. Anyways, it's kind of a side story in the movie. So that's Halle Berry's character. That's why I kind of feel like she's the second main. Um, Barry Kilgan is a young up and coming criminal who Money knows. Nick Nolte's character Money. His name, yeah, Orman. And so, but he's not nearly as polished as Davis. He's more he takes risks, and he's not like, so Davis doesn't really want, Chris Hemsworth's character Davis doesn't want to hurt anybody, doesn't want anybody getting hurt. He doesn't want to get hurt. He just wants to steal the money. He takes care of the people when he steals the money from them so as not to hurt them. And he tells them, the insurance is going to pay for this. Just let it happen, and you don't have to get hurt. I don't have to get hurt. Let's just, go our separate ways type thing. And Barry Kilgan is very blunt and wants to punch people in their face, which is funny because he's a really little dude. Whereas Chris Hemsworth is a big burly dude, and he could beat people up. But anyways, it is what it is. So that's kind of the only weird part about it. But at least the one time they kind of come face to face, he just acts like scared, of Chris Hemsworth's character, which makes the most sense. But anyways, at some point in time, Chris Hemsworth's Davis character makes Money mad because he doesn't want to do a certain job, so he has Orman do the job, and then when Chris Hemsworth finds out that Orman did the job, he threatens Nick Nolte that if it ever happens again, then he won't do jobs with him anymore, and so Nick Nolte just decides to have Orman go, follow Nick Nolte for his next job, and then just rob Chris Hemsworth's character. And so yeah, and then so it's causing Orman to go after people that are around Chris Hemsworth's character, like one of the people that he gets information from that helps him get information. I think is Devin, played by Devin Bostick. Anyways, there's a computer guy. No, maybe it's Patrick Mulvey, Phil. Anyways, there's this guy that gets that does all the computer stuff. That's really savvy computer stuff, and does that for Davis's character. And Orman goes after him. Orman goes after Halle Berry's character. So, anyways, in the end, they set up this big job, and everybody kind of it all comes together in the end. Like everybody crosses paths, and then there's kind of a twist at the end. It's not a super twist. It's just you get to see some things that maybe you didn't expect to happen. And I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a really good job. Everybody kind of acted well in it. The story was pretty fun. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like I said, the twist at the end isn't like a super twist. It was just, okay, maybe I didn't quite expect that to happen, but that's cool. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I would recommend seeing it. If you can see it in the theater, even better. Or wait till it comes to streaming. It's not one of those you have to see it in the theater. You could definitely watch it on streaming. I liked it. Hopefully you like it too. And we'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Have a good day.